The National Golf Club of Canada has been #1 on multiple lists throughout history. It lands now #1 PGA of Canada, top 100, the top of the private side. One of only 2 Tom Fazios, Bob, in the entire country, along with Coppenwood Golf Club, which is also on our list. And I really, truly believe that the one greatest compliment that you could say to the National is normally golf courses that are that difficult tend to not always sit at #1. They tend to leave a lack of enjoyment factor or a bad taste sometimes in people's mouth. But the National, for as difficult as it has always been, it's always been loved. And I think because at the end of the day, it is just incredibly well done and it's always fair. And I think as long as it's fair, it can still be celebrated.
Let me give you 3 comments from 3 different people I've interviewed over the years about this golf course. The first was Gil Bleckman, who's the guy who built the golf course, and he said he gave the Fazios their marching orders. He said, I want you to build me a golf course that they can play the U.S. Open. If they just called up on Monday and said, we're going to play the U.S. Open there, I want it in that kind of a condition, that kind of difficulty, he certainly got that. I also interviewed Tom Fazio about it a number of years later, and he said, you know, that golf course was never meant to be played from the back tees on every single hole. It's just simply too difficult to test. And Graham DeLette on Twitter this week, we were talking about the golf courses in this country, and he said the one thing he doesn't like about the National, which goes to your point, Mark, is that he says there's no let-up. Every hole is so difficult, there's no real let-up, and he says that might take away from the enjoyment. But there is no doubting, when you talk to PGA Tour pros and you ask them what's the best golf course in Canada, almost all of them will say the National.